please come on in. Coach Mike Macdonald, we're live. We're live on the program just like you were in Santa Clara a couple weeks ago. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, great to see you.
We're here live on Disney Plus and also on an ESPN app and ESPN Radio. Great to see you, man. How are you?
Yeah, you too. This is cool.
Hey, I'm so happy for you. Just to start things off, the video that I saw that I just couldn't get out of my head was you and your wife and your son, right?
Yeah,
your son, how old is he?
14 months.
14 months, right there on the field, right?
Yeah.
Your wife said something along the lines, "How was your day?" Right?
Yeah, that was good. A little inside joke. Yeah, that was great.
What do you mean, the inside joke?
Well, it's just an inside joke between her and I. Just it was like an intimate. It's cool because it was like an intimate moment.
Yeah.
That we shared. You don't realize that the camera's on yet.
Oh.
And then it's like, oh, well, now we have that for the rest of our lives. So
right.
Yeah, that was special.
How was your day? Pretty cool. And then you said something along the lines to your son, like one day you're gonna understand what this means right now.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We came off the stage and I was having like visions of Drew Brees with his son,
right,
with the confetti in the background, right, and his eyes of wonder and the whole thing. And then we saw Steph and Jack's. He didn't want to leave his mom, and so he wasn't very excited about me grabbing him. So he
grabbed the Lombardi instead.
So he was a little upset, and so like he was like the only thing he was interested in was just like grabbing confetti, and we're trying to save some confetti and put it in Steph's bag, and you're just thinking, hey, like how special this is, and one day he's going to have this memory that he can look back at and say that what he was a part of. So
the confetti, so you saved that?
Yeah, we got a bunch of the confetti.
So awesome, man.
Yeah.
And so. Looking back on it, give me your thoughts on when you realized this team had a real shot to win it all during the playing season, Mike.
It's interesting. I've never been to a Super Bowl before, so it's like in your mind you don't really like what is a Super Bowl caliber team.
Sure.
I don't really know the answer to that. But
now you do.
Now we know. Yeah, now we know like what the standard is. You have a feeling what the standard felt like every day, and what I can tell you is like our guys like nailed all the challenges. We fell short sometimes, but they would respond, answer the bell, and so it was a team that we believed in. Given like whatever the circumstances were, and we start stacking some of those wins, saying, okay, like we should go into games expecting to win games if we bring our A game, and at that point, it's just kind of like circumstances don't matter and. You can pull off winning a Super Bowl. So
then, looking back, now that you know what a Super Bowl winning team is, when did you like? What was that moment where you thought, okay, it changed at this point in time, or it took?
I think there's a couple.
Click up.
There's a couple probably inflection points throughout the season. Camp, we had some great practices like in the tough parts of camp where guys were just into it. We didn't have any drag in camp. Going to play against the Packers, seeing the connectedness of the team, the practice, probably I forget who we won after the Saints game, but being able to stack plays like later on in games, we're not letting teams going back into the games. That was critical. Losing to the Rams.
The Rams.
I mean, like just feeling the guys fight, the connectedness of the teem, the physicality that we were capable of playing with, like the resilience, all that type of stuff.
But losing,
yeah. Like I remember telling the team in the locker room after the game. I said, "Look, I know we're really disappointed to lose the game, but you guys are a championship team." Like that was.
You told that to them.
Yeah, yeah.
When did you learn what Ernest Jones had said about the quarterback? When did that hit you?
It was. I'm pretty sure it was after I did the media. I think Ernest went after me. And then that's when I heard about it. So I might be wrong on that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's when you learned what he had to say about.
Dave told me.
Dave
when
Pearson.
Walking back to the locker room. So it was great. He nailed it. Yeah, it was awesome.
I know when you say when he nailed it because that he did. I mean, because that. Listen, I deal in narratives. You don't. You deal in X's and O's. You deal in personalities. You deal in culture. You deal in finding matchups and exploiting them in real moments. I deal in narratives. And narratives about your quarterback is that, okay, he keeps hitting his head on the ceiling against the Rams.
Yeah.
And to come out of that and maybe be a closer unit, be a closer team, and realize that, okay, we damn near pulled this thing off anyway.
Yeah.
I imagine Week 16 was another inflection point. That's the Thursday nighter that you were kind enough to zoom in after that win over the Rams.
I mean, I think it was really great for the 12s, like being able to play a big game at home, feeling their energy throughout the game. Us, winning a quote unquote big game throughout the season. I think that was awesome for like our home field advantage and like them seeing what type of team that we were capable of. But I think we kind of knew who we were at that point as a team, and so we just kept proving it. So it's pretty cool.
Going for 2 was a big moment for you, I think. That you win this game.
Well, if you look back at it, that was a big part of the season. It was
right.
Determines home field to a certain extent.
Yeah, you couldn't. If you tied, you'd be 1-0-1, and you.
Right. Well, that was
that's
part
not
of,
what you.
That was part
or
of the,
0-1-1, obviously against the Rams.
Well, that was part of the decision criteria
Right.
on going for it. So it actually kind of made it a little bit easier knowing what was at stake.
And what was it like for you? I know we chit-chatted, and I appreciate that when you zoomed in with me for a chat for the NFL Network pregame show. What was it like for you prepping for a Super Bowl, Mike Macdonald? What was that like?
I think what made this experience unique was we really didn't have a lot of on our players, like our coaching staff and our player side, we didn't have that much Super Bowl experience. And like John's been there, and he was able to guide us, and a lot of other people that were in our organization, Eric Kennedy, Mo Kelly had great things to draw from, but. What made it unique for us was, hey, look, we're entering this experience together. There's going to be some things that are different than we're usual. We're so process driven that, hey, we can't just bang our head against the wall and stick to our process every day, because there are going to be some different variables. But let's just call it out now on what's going to be different. Let's have a plan for it. Let's attack it together, and let's go experience this thing together as a team, rather than saying, hey, look, this is what's going to happen, and this is what we have to do every day. It's that's not really how we roll. And so we kind of took our MO and our kind of way of life and translated into that whole 2-week process. And I'm really proud about how we handled it and what the guys' attitudes were.
What were you able to, now that we've seen what happened in Super Bowl 60, what you prepped going in, saying this is the way we can win? We saw the way that you won. Can you connect those dots of what you wanted to affect and what you were able to affect?
I think it starts with having a confidence and belief in who we are and what we were capable of.
Right.
So the focus was, how can we go put ourselves in a position to play our best football? So all the process behind that was really just the principles of how we applied every week, just kind of within the Super Bowl setting. There's some decisions you got to make, like how do you handle the bye week and how many reps do you take and what intensity, and guys get banged up like Nick with his ankle, and as a head coach, you're losing your mind. Hey, we shouldn't have practiced that way, or maybe we practiced too hard. But at the end of the day, you got to trust why you built it, that certain way. And I think the guys feel that we have their best interest at heart, and we're going to do what we need to do, what the Seahawks need to do, and not necessarily what the conventional wisdom says, or it's always been done this way. We're going to do it what we feel like is unique to us, and let's go rock and roll.
What about rattling the cage of the kid quarterback and the kids rattling the cage of the kid quarterback, and then also the left side of that offensive line for New England? It looked like you identified a way through and hit the crap out of that. Well, all game.
I think one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is how we played on early downs. In some of those run or pass type of situations where we're able to force and maximize the amount of times that they needed to drop back. And so it's tough to do that in the NFL at a certain frequency throughout a game. And the way our guys played on first down to create those opportunities was what our guys asked for, because now they can come to life and execute the rush plan and dial up blitzes, things like that.
Okay, so what's the secret sauce about what worked and what you were able to say? Okay, because we got John Schneider coming up next. What you're able to say in the meetings before you got hired, then you get hired.
Yeah.
Then you show up and you're like, this is the way we're going to do things, because we're going to win a championship this way. And now it has been affirmed. Yeah. What is the it? What is the it that we can ascribe to you, Mike Macdonald, and this organization for Seattle and this copycat league? What do you got for me on that front?
I think, I don't want to sound cheesy, but it is it's the power of the synergy of doing it together, the connectedness from the top down, from Jody throughout, Chuck and the business side, to all of our support staff being bought in on how we want to operate, ultimately, on a daily basis, it's my responsibility to make sure that we're on track and we're hitting those things. Mm-hmm. But I think, again, what makes us, unique to us is I'm going through these experiences, and our coaching staff are doing it with the players,
right,
kind of in real time. So I think everybody feels like we're all in this thing together. We're all growing. We all have each other's best interests at heart. What we're trying to create, and that's something that you can't fake. And so it just takes an authenticity.
I guess it takes an authenticity, but how do you?
Well, you realize really quickly what you don't know as a head coach. There's a lot of things you don't know, and you realize that you have a lot of talented people around. You're like, hey, well, let's unlock all these people. Let's rock and roll. Let's use everybody's talents, and how can we create it? Hey, so and so can do this, and how do we build it? And hey, you go take this project and make it come to life. And what happens is all these little cool organic things happen that are unique to us, inside jokes.
Yes.
And then you're creating an atmosphere where I feel like one is fun to come to work, and people can be the best version of themselves. They can just kind of be them and focus on playing great football and winning games.
And I know you're still relatively new to the area, right?
Yeah.
Certainly, if you get the longevity in your career that you hope for, you're just getting started.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Right. And do you realize what you've just accomplished by going through San Francisco and the Rams?
Yeah.
To cauterize the wounds of Super Bowl 49 against the Patriots for the 12s.
Right.
To win in the home of the San Francisco 49ers, and maybe have them think about ripping up the carpets and changing things in their locker room because you celebrated them there. Do you realize what you've just done for the 12s, Mike Macdonald?
Probably not to the extent which as justified as how they should feel. Mm-hmm. Take a lot of pride in delivering that to our fans and to the 12s. I think take me and the coaches out of it. Well, what our players did, this team,
mm-hmm.
At Michigan we would number the teams 142.
Oh yes, I know about 144.
Yeah,
you were on 142, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay,
and so the 2025, 2026 Seattle Seahawks, I think deserve to be recognized as one of the all-time great teams, great performances. I mean, find me a stat and compare it to everybody else. Not that, but that's important,
mm-hmm.
in the history books, and our guys deserve that recognition, I think.
But the number of times we saw Malcolm Butler picking off Russell Wilson in the weeks leading up to this game.
Yeah, I mean,
that's now history. It's now truly history.
It is. I mean,
right?
And also, what was I doing in 2000? I was a GA at Georgia. Our guys are,
right.
They're probably 10 years old.
Well, you said you told me
different for them.
You were watching that game. You said at your sister's house or something. You were at the Ravens watching that game. Is what you were saying.
That was 2014. Yeah, so that was the 2014 season.
Yeah.
It's actually, I was in LA, and I remember exactly where I was. My little nephew Charlie watched the halftime show. He was digging Katy Perry. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and now you're the Super Bowl winning head coach of the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah,
man.
pretty well.
Couldn't be happier for you. Couldn't be happier for you. Thanks for joining me here.
Yeah, you got it.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.